Good morning, ladies. How are you this morning? I see two of you made it through. Is the
Good
Yeah.
sound
morning.
working back? I'm trying a new way of doing my sound. Is it working, Dr. Nadia?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let's see. I'm doing sound checks right now. We're going to get it together. We were working on this earlier. There we go. Everybody's in now?
I think so.
Tony?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry.
Excellent. So we're trying to get Dr. Hamilton on. She was having so I said today is the day for everybody not to be able to have technology work. What is that about?
I don't know.
Well, that's okay. Those people that are watching, they'll get it right because technology happened. But when women get together, it's going to happen. So this is
Yes.
take two, and so we're going to start on the sister circle. I got a couple of folks watching it. They're probably going, "What is going on?" This lady stopped and she started, but guess what? It's okay. It's my birthday weekend. Yay! All right, so welcome everyone. Again, I am Dr. Marrian Efua. I am a transformation strategist and your inner alchemist. And today I am joined by none other than Dr. Nadia Brown so far. Dr. Hamilton will be on later, who's a naturopathic doctor. We have Tony Kirkendall, who's going to be sharing with us today as well and is serving in the role of a sponsorship as well as part of our immediate sister circle. And I'm not sure, I don't want to mute stuff because if I start muting people, I'm going to ask everybody to self-mute unless you're talking because if I hit a button, I may hit the wrong thing. So whoever has any sound on, just mute yourself for the moment and then we'll come back and share from that point. Thanks so much, everyone that's joining us in. I see we got a few more folks listening in. I appreciate you and honor you for taking time out to share your day with us. So as we begin today, as I was saying, the Sister Circle stands for Sisters Initiating Strategies that Achieve Success. And so we got this together 10 years ago. It was a spinoff from a support group that I used to attend, and the women wanted to keep talking to me and keep talking to each other. And so we would meet at the local McDonald's when the agency closed, and then we would, we started meeting at each other's houses, and then we started sharing our strategies of how we were surviving in our lives. Strategies that were actually bringing about some level of success holistically in our life. And what's meant by holistically, meaning that it impacts every level of your life. Your spiritual life, your financial life, your emotional life, your mental health, your physical health, right? Your professional career, whatever it is that you need to happen that impacts you, that makes you uniquely you, that's what we want to address as sisters in the sister circle. Those strategies that you're sharing that are getting you through. And so sometimes it started out with us just giving a hug. Maybe it meant just letting you have a place to vent. Maybe it meant you sharing this great opportunity that you learned about that could help other people. Or quite possibly it even involved us doing a financial exchange. Somebody needed gas to get to work the next week. Someone needed lunch money or field trip money for their children. Somebody needed their hair done but couldn't afford it, and so someone in the group did their hair. And that's what the Sister Circle is about. It's about making sure that women support women on every level of your lives without any judgment, without any fear and any inhibitions, authentically sharing the natural womanhood that we are given from the time we're born, that is often downplayed, that is often reshifted. It is in the wrong way when women start interacting. So thanks again for tuning in today. Again, this is a Sister Circle, and I'm just so excited to be a part. If you want to learn more about me, you can find out later on, but you can go to efuaspeaks.com and learn out more about me there as the inner alchemist and how I actually help you go inside and unleash your own inner alchemy. We're going to talk about that today, throughout the program. But I don't want to prolong this. Hopefully Dr. Hamilton will get this message and be able to get in. She's been texting me, so if you see me going down, I'm looking at the phone trying to get her. Not to mention I broke my phone again. So first, I'm going to bring up, before I bring up Dr. Nadia, Tony, I want to give you an opportunity to share today from your perspective, and you can tell everyone a little bit about you. I'll just say you're a phenomenal woman. You also are a force to be reckoned with. She has a financial background. She also has a metaphysical background. She is a genius when it comes to business and today I'm not sure which one of your aspects you're going to share from, the accounting money side or the insurance life get yourself together side. So I'm going to let you have that way, Tony, to share out with us for a little bit, very briefly.
Okay. 1 second. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
I can hear you. Uh-oh, we just lost you. So you might want to go back and click whatever it is you just clicked because you were live. There you go.
How about that?
Yes, yes, yes. And
Okay, is
then you
that
can
better?
just turn down the volume so that I don't hear your feedback. Yeah. I
How's
learned
that?
that trick. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm still learning it myself. So, well, thank
Yeah.
you for having me on today. I don't want to hold up anybody in their time. I'm really, really excited to hear from both the doctors today, Dr. Nadia and uh, Tertiary, I believe. So I
Mhm.
basically would just like to introduce myself. I've been an accountant for over 30 years. A few years ago, I decided to go into insurance, and so I believe in the value of financial wealth as we continue to learn how to create wealth. We're always talking about debt, 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 and I strongly believe that's what's creating more debt versus learning how to create wealth and assisting one another with that. And some of that in my aspect of life works on I think is working on the budgeting aspect as well as finding out how the value of having insurance to help create wealth and security for your family. And I have a strong belief in that value. And so recently I've also contracted with Allstate and will be working with them as well. I've Baltimore Life, some other companies that I work with as well, Legal Shield. And so with those avenues have given me a lot of resources and learning how on a individual and small business level to help create that understanding and value that can provide that protection for our families. I have a strong belief in the life insurance because it's the only bill, because most people say, I have a whole lot of bills, I can't afford one more bill. And so I, look at it and say, I understand that because yes, you have your cable bills, you have your rent, you have your mortgage, you have, your cell phone bills, you have your car insurance bills, your health insurance. There's a lot of bills. I totally understand that. But life insurance is the only bill that you would have that would help create and protect your family, create wealth. The only one that can create income stream for your family, the only one that can help protect you in the event of a devastation like a flood of a house or a house going on fire or a loss of a loved one that provides income in the family. It's the only bill that could create a safety net. And so my charge that I've decided to do the other half of my life is to continue to learn about that wealth system and spread the word as I continue to learn more and more about that. So that's my 2 cents spill. So thank you for having me.
And all right. Well, you are welcome. You are welcome. And as I said, I know you were being a little modest for time, but as I said, it's a free exchange. If we got a little time today, as I said, I'm working right now with Dr. Nadia, excuse me, not Dr. Tertiary, to get her up here and listed on this program. So we're going to keep grooving and moving. Again, welcome to those of you that are now joining us. That was Tony Kirkendall. Tony, how can people follow up with you and get in contact with you to find out more about what you do? And I know we're going to be doing something in the future on mindset, money, and mastery, with you talking more in depth about how you can create wealth based upon your debt, which is an interesting concept within itself. So how do people contact you, Tony?
Okay, you can reach me at 608-695-2102. Or you can reach me via email at tonykirkendall@legalshield.com. I'm sorry, legalshieldassociate.com, and that's TON as in Nancy, KIRKEN as in Nancy, D as in David, OLL at legalshield sistahood.associate.com.
Excellent, 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 excellent.
And
Well,
if people
go
text
ahead.
me, they can text me their name, phone number, and their email to that 608-695-2102, and I can send them as much information, or we can have a conversation. I'd be willing to send them any free um, information that they would need regarding those type of building concepts. And I don't like to use the word debt. Like I said, that's what other people use. I tend to use wealth building because I think that has more power and truth to it than
Mhm.
claiming debt. So that's how I tend to look at it.
Excellent. Well, I like that. I like that. You heard me go, hmm. You know, I'm a boisterous person. I respond and stuff. So, but yeah, I like that. So again, reach out to Tony. Make sure you find out, follow up. She's also in our exclusive Facebook group, which those of you that know is Hip Sisters, and you have to put in the dots H period I period P period S period I period S period T period A period S period, and we have to do that. You know, so go into the group and find out and post some comments, share with us. I'm trying to put the link in there now because some people are saying that they're having problems. But I sent the link out to everyone that's in the group, everyone that registered. And so again, I'm just trying to help Dr. Tertia get in here and keep going. I'm so excited to have this time with us because what happens is we write, we go. So if you are trying to multitask, there's no such thing as multitasking. If you're trying to do things exactly the right way, there's no such thing as exactly the right way. There is no right and wrong. There's an infinite number of possibilities that presents itself in every moment, in every situation of your life. And at that moment, you choose the best one. And so if it's not the one that gives you the best and the optimal level of result that you desire, guess what? You get to choose again. That was key for me. Over 15 years ago, I realized like I really did have a choice. I have a choice to say, I don't like what's happening. I don't agree with what's being said about me. I don't agree. I want to write my own story. I want to re-script it myself. So this is excellent. So when you talk about wealth building, as Tony, she said, repurpose that language. Stop calling it debt. You're doing some wealth building. You're making some investments in yourself. So I hope you guys will follow up. And Tony, you know, as we go on, hopefully you'll be able to continue in the conversation as well as we continue to go forward. Dr. Nadia, are you ready?
Good morning, honey. Happy birthday.
Yay! Look, yay! I spent it in Vegas. Yay! What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for the great feeling you come back with. I had a ball. I had a
That is
ball.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yes. Awesome sauce. So great morning to you. I'm going to give you the floor. You know, you have the floor to do your thing at the length that you need to handle and share from your authentic place as you always do. Dr. Nadia is a leadership development and women empowerment. I guess that's the best way to say it. She don't like to say empowerment. It is. She empowers women on how to truly lead themselves, how to begin to be leaders in environments, how to expand upon their level of greatness in such a way, because it really is our greatness. So I'm just all I'm gonna say is I get excited because you know I call that's my little. She's my younger sister, exponential potential, but she's just as powerful, if not more powerful. So I'm always in awe to hear her present and share from her place. And she's got some great things going on. And I'm going to let her tell you about that. She is moving and grooving. So you want to be a part to really embrace Dr. Nadia Brown. Go ahead, my love.
Good morning, ladies. It's so exciting to be here. It's always a party when Dr. Marrian and I get together.
Indeed.
Uh, I just, I was thinking about what I wanted to share with everyone this morning, and I want to talk to us about just our support systems. As Marian mentioned, as we as women, a lot of times don't look at our support. And um, as the founder and CEO of Doyen Leadership Institute and now the launch of the new Power Profits Academy, I work with a number of women, whether they're entrepreneurs or they're women in corporate. And even women who are like, I don't want to do either one of those. I'm just staying at home right now in this season to take care of my family. And one of the things that we find is that we're driven. We have a lot of goals. There are things that we want to accomplish. But I find that and I say we because I am definitely right there with you, we get into this space of I have to do it all by myself in order to make this happen. And it's just been one of those things as you start to go through this process and you start looking at your life and how you're going to get from where you are to where it is that you want to be, that you realize I can't do this alone. But how do I get the support that I need? How do I bring people onto my team? How do I hire a nanny, if you will? That's what you need in your life, and bring those people into my circle and actually be able to lead them. And so I'm so excited that Dr. Marrian pulled this together, because I think it's something that we don't talk about enough, and when it comes to having that level of support. But it's nothing like life to happen to you to make you start to really look at and evaluate where it is that you are in this space. And so I in a moment of transparency, I received a call on Wednesday that was just borderline completely devastating in terms of a family member who was at that time fighting for their life. I'm happy to say that they are on the mend and things are a lot better, but in that moment, when one, you're nowhere near them, you're not close. It's not like you can jump in your car and drive to the hospital and be there in a few minutes. When thousands of miles separate you, you really start to think about, oh my gosh. And then as you start to talk to family and make plans to, do I go, do I stay, how does that look? But then at the end of the day, I'm still a CEO. I have a company to run. And what happens if I'm not there? And it's just one of those things that you start to think about, how do I delegate? Who do I need to bring on my team so that my life, my livelihood can continue? And I think that sometimes we paint ourselves in a corner because we don't reach out. We're not transparent. We're not honest. And we don't say, I need help. And many times we don't do that because we feel like it's a sign of weakness. But it honestly takes strength and courage to reach out to a fellow sister like Marrian or Dr. Tertia or Tony or anybody and say, you know what, I need your help. I need your help in this way because I'm not able to move forward and I'm having issues. And so today I just challenge you to take some time to sit down and really look and evaluate where you are. It may be help in your home. While I'm married, we don't have children, so that's not a big space for me right now. But if we were to have small children, I would probably need some help there too. And just being okay with, you know what, I need help, and how can I get the support that I need to move forward and build what I like to call your dream team, because we all need that support in order to get to our big goals, in order to achieve our big visions. And so I have a resource that I would love for you to take advantage of by texting the word delegate to 480-725-7622. Again, that's the word delegate, and you can text that word to 480-725-7622, because I get that it's hard to let go. It's hard, I talk to some of my colleagues and we talk about our businesses like our babies, and it's like leaving your child with a babysitter for the first time, to bring someone on board, to bring someone on a team and trust them that they will do the work at the same level and have the same commitment that you do. And so, Mary, I don't know if there's a way that people can ask questions or if there was something else you wanted me to talk about, but I just felt that it was important to just talk about the power of having that support network, the power of, and the importance of reaching out and saying that I need help.
Absolutely. No, keep going. Keep going. Do you, because that's how you do it. That's what women do. We know we know our needs, and so we share with each other from a spirit woman first. That's what we do. We pick up. We're naturally intuitive. We have to be as women. So you just keep right on ahead and keep doing your thing and share from your place of wealth freely. I'm not going to inhibit you because we get inhibited enough. So I'm going to let y'all flow. And today we got Dr. Terche on the call. Yay, yay, yay. I see her on the line.
Hey.
Hey, y'all. No. So we are steady. We're waiting on Therese now. Therese is now texting me. And so I guess I'm gonna be the technology person. So keep talking, Nadia. You still have more than enough time to share out from that wealth place. And people who want to give questions, there is a chat box that we have going on the side. You just type in questions, etc. And I'm also monitoring the Hip Sisters room in case people decide to ask their question there. But I want to encourage you to text Dr. Nadia at 480-725-7622 and type in the word delegate, because delegation is such a great thing. When I learned that, and I'll tell y'all something else, ordering takeout or going to a restaurant is a form of delegation. Did y'all know that? So that helps me out because I don't always have time to cook. Okay? I love to eat, but I don't always have time to cook. Right? So I delegate that sometimes, right? And I also delegate cleaning my house to other people. Right? Once a month, I delegate that to someone else, because the reality is, if you are running this company, so Dr. Nadia, I can get going because you got me started on that. That's one of my favorite things. Build your community that's going to benefit you, and that's what Hip Sisters and Sister Circle is about. Building that community, sharing those strategies. So you keep pouring out from your wealthy place of strategies when it comes from your gifts, and then we're just gonna listen. I'm gonna keep taking notes. Right? Did y'all see my notebook come out when she started talking? I was like, let me pull this out. Like, let me just get her right now, because she thinks she's gonna play me with a little patty cake today. No, you're gonna pour out. Because see, you at home today. We ain't got no 6-inch heels on today. I know what your feet look like under that desk.
Oh, so you're going to call me out?
Well, I'm saying that because you know what my feet look like under the desk. You know how I'm sitting. Okay? Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead on, Dr. Nadia. Exactly.
So, I would just encourage you to do an assessment. Evaluate where you are in your life. Where do you need that level of support? Like Marrian mentioned, maybe you outsource cleaning your house a couple times a month, or just do the deep cleaning. Let someone else do that. It's not as expensive as you may think it is. Understand how much your time is worth. And I think sometimes we underestimate the value of our time. And then we start saying yes to everything, and now we're stressed out, which now affects our health, and we are not able to accomplish goals, so then we can't sleep, and now we're gaining weight. It's like this constant vicious cycle, and now you're just a hot mess. Don't nobody want to be around you because you're unhappy, you're grumpy, you're cranky, because you're doing too much. Take off the cape, let someone in, let someone help you, let someone support you, and moving forward. And understand that we are all going through different seasons. I think one of the things that we get caught up in, and it's a very real danger even to ourselves and to being able to develop authentic relationships with other women, is comparison. And so we start comparing ourselves to other people and where they are in this season of their lives, and we get discontent with where we are in our lives. And so what I can do as a married woman with no children may look very different from a single mom or a married woman who has small children, or even a single woman, because we're in different seasons in our lives. And so don't compare where you are right now. You do the best you can with what you have. And one of the things that I recently taught a session on just excellence in leadership, and I love the definition that I read about success, the difference between success and excellence. And success was defined as being the best, but excellence was defined as being your best. And if you just look at every day, I'm going to strive to be better today than I was yesterday, and the only person that I'm competing against is me, it's a completely different conversation. And it's not even a conversation around I don't have goals or I'm not striving to be a better person, but then I don't get caught up in feeling insecure or not being able to celebrate someone else's success and their achievements because I'm not competing against them. So I can lock arms with Dr. Marrian and support her in everything that she does and be there for all of her events and cheer her on because she's doing her thing. And that has nothing to do with me in terms of me not being where I need to be or making me feel less than. And so don't compare yourself. Don't fall into that trap of comparing yourself to other people and not being able to really own where you are and what it is that you're doing. And another moment of transparency. Y'all just get way too much for a Saturday morning, but
Go ahead, sister.
just really owning your where you are. And one of my power statements that I'll say is I am where I am, whether that's where I am in my business, my finances, my marriage, my health, my fitness goals. Today, I am where I am. It is what it is. This is where I am today. I can accept that. I can acknowledge any of the emotions attached to that, but then I can start to take the steps to move forward. And recently, I would say about a month ago, I was walking into a department store and this woman comes out and she just looks like one of those fit women that all she does in her life is work out. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, she has such a great body, right? And then it was like, well, Nadia, what about your body? Like, what are you saying about yourself? Because we are so mean to ourselves. Some of the things that we say to ourselves are so off point, and then we wonder why we can't achieve our goals and we feel bad. And so I just had now I'm walking through this department store having this conversation with myself like, well, Nadia, how do you feel about your body? What are some of the things you want to change? If you don't like it, what are you willing to do to change it? And one of the things that I had to come to as a resolution I came to after this exchange was, you know what, one, I am where I am, and two, if I never lose another pound, I need to be okay with my body. I need to love me as me. I am uniquely me. What makes my unique value proposition so unique is me. There is no other me. And that's the awesome thing about being Nadia is there is no other Nadia like me. And so just understanding that you are unique for a reason and to just own that and be okay with it. If there are things that you want to change them. And if you like it the way it is, then love it, but love yourself through the process. And I think that is one of the things, and that's why another reason why we can't really bond is because I can't love my fellow sisters if I don't love myself. I can't give what I don't have. And if I don't have love for self, I can't give love to others. And so again, as we're talking about sisterhood and we're talking about coming together and really supporting one another, I encourage you to really look at what are you saying to yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Because you can't give from that place of abundance if you're bankrupt. If you're spiritually bankrupt, emotionally bankrupt, love bankrupt, if your love bank is empty, you can't give. And so just look at that because we give, 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 give. And when do we ever take time to just have some solitude, have some girlfriend time, and just really be raw, just really be open about here's where I am, and to be able to talk to your girlfriends or get on a hangout and just tell all your business. But, to just really be able to be authentic. And, people look at us and they're like, oh my gosh, we always have it together. No, we don't. We are human just like you. And there are days when we are truly a hot mess. But we have one another, and I can pick up the phone and be like, Marian, girl, it is rough today, and to be able to lift each other up. And she can give me words of encouragement like, girl, it's going to be all right. Pull yourself together and get back out there. But she loves me enough to not let me stay stuck. So she's like, all right, you got 5 minutes to cry, pull yourself together, fuss, whatever that looks like. But at the end of those 5 minutes is now time to pull yourself together and get out there. And one of the things that keeps me motivated is in the work that I do, I have the honor and the privilege to be that mirror for other women, to help them see the potential that many times we don't see ourselves. But even need someone to hold a mirror for me because sometimes I can't see the forest for the trees. And so it's, those girlfriends that are out there like, girl, pull it together. You got this. Now go. Who do you have that's like that? That's not going to just whip out the wine, the cheese to go with your wine so y'all can have a pity party. But it's like, all right, I get that you're having a rough moment and you have work to do because there are people out there that need you. They need your gifts. They need your talents. They need what you have to share. They want to hear your story and they want you to be of service to them, but you can't do that if you're not in a place of wholeness and of wellness. So we all have our moments. Sometimes it's a moment by moment kind of day, and you just take it one moment at a time. And so, again, Marrian, I'm excited to be here to just talk about sisterhood, to talk about some of the challenges that we face, and to just keep it real and say, you know what? I deal with the same challenges like everyone else. How do I delegate? Feeling guilty for, what kind of wife am I if I hire a housekeeper? I'm a busy wife. That's what I am. I'm a CEO. I'm running a business. I travel. I train. I facilitate. I spend time with my husband. And there are times when he's here and we're both at the same time, I don't want to be scrubbing the toilet. The toilet needs to be clean, and you have to look at that and prioritize. My family is important to me, and sometimes the toilet is less important that it be scrubbed by me. As long as it's clean, let somebody else do it. And sometimes we just take on too much that it has to be done by us, and learning to let go. So I just say try it. Find one thing that you can let go. Maybe you don't take a big step and hire a housekeeper. Maybe you let someone watch your children for an hour. Maybe you give yourself permission to just take 10 minutes, leave me alone, shut the door, have a bubble bath, light some candles, and just chill out. Whatever that is, give yourself permission to do that because, again, and I just stress this, you cannot give what you do not have. All right, Marrian.
That was Dr. Nadia. That was Dr. Nadia. That was Dr. Nadia. As I said, and that's what this is about, Nadia. It is about being transparent. It is about breaking the barriers. I didn't give the preference that we used to give when we would meet. When we meet live, I get up and I give the ground rules. And the ground rules are that all your titles go to the floor. Leave your title, when you sign your name, leave your title at the door. There's nothing else there for you. I just want you and all of you, because it's not about what you do so much that makes you just priceless and invaluable. It's who you are. And you spoke to that, Nadia. You spoke about being able to embrace every part of who you are, but know that you still may have to reach out to get some support. You still may have to reach out to learn a little bit more. And so with that, I want to remind you, Dr. Nadia gave us a phone number earlier. So Dr. Nadia, can you give them that number again that you would like people to kind of follow up with you on and come through? Because you've got a bunch of platinum nuggets. As always, we drop those. But it's really important, right? There is no competition. The competition is with you. You need to complete. Forget competition. What are you able to complete? What are you able to complete to make your life closer and closer to be more like the life you were destined and created to live? That's what it's about. That is truly what it's about. Okay, what's the phone number, Dr. Nadia?
So for those that are listening and you want this resource about the art of delegation, let it go, that number is 480-725-7622, and you want to text the word delegate to 480-725-7622.
Okay, got it. All right, so up next we have another phenomenal woman who just floated into my life a couple years ago, and she is a naturopathic doctor. She floated into my life like, hey. And so I had to get her to be a part of this because so much of what she shares is so real, and she also puts me in check. Cause talking about these portions, I'm like, it's vegan. Like, it's all vegetables. She like, everybody tell you eat the whole thing. It's not for you to eat one time. See how she do me? Nadia, she do me like that. Tony, she be treating me bad, y'all. She treat me bad. But yeah, I love her, and I truly do appreciate Dr. Tersha. I appreciate her. Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry. I forgot. Tersha. Dr. Tersha will be sharing with us. Now, I'm giving y'all her title because she really is a naturopathic doctor. She went to school. She is trained. She knows your body, but she shows you in a way that you don't have to pop all these pills. You don't have to do all these evasive procedures. She's going to help you make it part of your lifestyle. So where she's going to come from and her wealthy place is truly going to help us. Remember, I said holistically, we grow as women. Holistically, we need to be intact. Holistically, we need to live our lives because truly the consequences of our living will be left as our legacy. So why not? So that's why I wanted her to come on here to talk about that and share from her place. And so I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about you. She's here in Arizona with me. Yay! These my Arizona folks today. So I know people got mad at me. They always call me from on the East Coast. Okay, I'm doing everybody from Arizona this time. So, so we're here, and so Tarsha's gonna share out from her place. Please listen to her. I'm telling you, follow up with her. If you do your time with her, your life will be changed. Somebody asked me, I started doing this naturopathic thing years ago, and I got more in depth. And since I met her, I read her books. I've listened to her, and every time I gain something new, and every time we have a conversation, I feel more guilty about certain stuff. But I'm completing. So I'm going to, without further ado, let her get started and start pouring into your lives today. Again, you can go into the chat room, which is on the side of the video. You should be able to type in your questions and comments that you want for Nadia, Tony, as well as Torsha Hamilton, the great doctor of naturopathic medicine. Go right ahead.
Thank you. So I am Dr. Tersha Hamilton, and as she mentioned, I am a naturopathic physician here in the state of Arizona. And usually when I speak, what I like to do is explain what naturopathic medicine is, because I know a lot of people sort of know natural medicine, but they're not really familiar with naturopathic medicine. So in the state of Arizona, I'm considered a primary care physician, just to give you a little background. So anything you can go to your regular PCP for, you can come to my office for. So that means anything from the common cold and flu, allergies, to diabetes support, and any other kind of support that you can give or receive. And the difference, of course, is that, like she mentioned, I don't focus on the medications. I do prescribe when I need to, but I don't make that the main focus of my treatment protocols. And so what I do is I try to, first of all, enlist you in your own healthcare to be a partner so that we can figure out what's happening, why it's happening, and come up with a plan so we can try to figure out ways to undo it if possible, or at least minimize the effects of whatever is going on so that you can live a more vibrant life and be that whole woman that you're supposed to be, or be that whole man that you're supposed to be, or be that CEO that you're supposed to be. Because if you are not holistically healthy, if you are not happy, if you are not vibrant and vital, there's no way that you can wear that cape and, do all the millions of things that you want to do, all the millions of things that you don't want to do, all the millions of things that people need you to do, if you're not holistically healthy. And so, again, that's basically what I do in my practice. I enlist my knowledge, I enlist my personal experience, and I enlist you so that you can be empowered to help me help you help your body. And so that's basically a background of who I am and what I do. Was there something else you wanted me to mention right quick?
I muted myself because I didn't want to keep talking over you. I was like, yeah, well, that's okay, yeah. So, okay. I'm still trying to get Therese on this call too. She's texting me. I don't know. She's in the Midwest and she's at a hotel, but it keeps kicking her out. So we're gonna work on getting her here. If not, she will come again another time. But you just go ahead and do your thing and just share from your place. And I'm gonna be working with her, but I'm steady listening and writing down stuff. So
okay.
Just so we can go. It's getting hot in here. You see my papers blowing now?
So I will say that lately when I've been doing talks and when I've been talking to my students, I'm also a teacher, talking to my students, talking to my audiences, talking to my patients, one of the biggest things that I've been focusing on recently is stress and how it affects the body. Mm-hmm. And, that basically goes into Dr. Nadia's nodding her head. That goes into every single aspect of our lives. I read somewhere that the American Medical Association has stated, and I can't find the actual statement from the Medical Association, but it does not surprise me. It said that 60% of the chronic diseases that we experience today are either caused by or exacerbated by stress. 60%. I know, that's what I'm saying. 60%. So that means more than half of the illness that you see can be alleviated or at least significantly improved or even eliminated because if we got a handle on our stress level. if we figured out what our stressors are, if we figured out what we needed to do in order to minimize the stress, or at least the stressful effect in our body, and then to get rid of it so that our body has the energy to heal. Dr. Nadia talked about delegation earlier, and I can tell you from personal experience, and since y'all were being transparent when I came on, I'm gonna be transparent right now. Delegation is not an easy thing to do. It is very difficult, whether that's because you feel like you have to do it all, or you feel like you have nobody to turn to, or you feel like you don't have the resources, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself. You have to learn how to delegate, because the truth be told, you only have 2 arms, you have 2 eyes, you have 1 mouth, you have 2 legs, and a smartphone and a computer. But still, your resources are limited. So that means that you have to figure out what it is that you can do on your own. Figure out what it is that you need to learn so that you can actually do some things on your own, but do them more efficiently and in a way that's actually going to promote health in your life and in your body, as opposed to making you more ill. So let's talk about what stress is. Stress, the easiest way for me to describe stress is to bring you back in time. When we lived, before the days of modern society, when we lived in our tribes, when we lived in our communities, when we lived in whatever ethnic community, whether it was in the bush, in the mountains, in the desert, whatever it was, we lived in these smaller communities where everybody had a task. Everybody was assigned a task either at birth or, when they became of age, whatever it is. Everybody had a task. And life was great. Of course, they had their ups and downs, but life was great. Life was simple. Then came the lion, the tiger, and the bear. And OMG, you got to stop and drop and just do one or two things. You either need to fight the bear or the lion or the tiger, or you need to run so that you don't become dinner. Right? So that's your fight or flight syndrome, or that's fight or flight, your fight or flight system in your body. It's called your sympathetic system. So as long as you successfully defeat or get rid of or get away from the lion, the tiger, or the bear, you got your breath, you laughed about it with the people that also escaped, you high-fived each other, and then everybody went back to work. They did what they did, and life was happy. In that example, stress is a very short-lived phenomenon. You get in it, you get out of it, you move on. You were able to recuperate from that stressor until the next stressor came along, whenever the next lion, the tiger, or bear came along. And of course, we know that that's not happening every 5 minutes. It would happen every now and again. So we were able to recuperate. Come to modern times, and our lions and tigers or bears are driving in morning traffic, driving in afternoon traffic, deadlines, phone calls, emails that we have to return, emails that we have to make, making sure that we get on the teleconference on time, figuring out the computer system, making sure that we have all of the things that we need to give to other people or to get from other people, making sure that the kids have dinner, making sure the dog is fed, making sure the dog don't pee. As you can see, we have all of these stressors. Our body does not know the difference between morning traffic and fighting a lion. And so with that, we send our bodies on this endless cycle of trying to get away from the lion, the tiger, and the bear. And that's where you get the rate of obesity, the rate of GI distress, meaning Crohn's, IBS, gas, bloating, diarrhea, undigested food. We get headaches. We get insomnia. You can't sleep, which, as Dr. Nadia mentioned, will cause you some other problems. Not being able to sleep causes you stress in and of itself and creates more stress. So that becomes a vicious cycle. Eating the wrong foods that your body does not like causes internal stress. And again, your body doesn't know the difference. And so once you can start to pinpoint the different areas in your life that's actually causing you stress or excess stress, then you can start to create strategies that will help you to build more health. You can use that energy instead of for stress, you can build it for healing and for strengthening. And so I talk about that a lot in the talks because, like I said, 60% of the illnesses that we see are caused by or exacerbated by stress, which is a problem. stress in and of itself is not bad. Stress is pressure. And, in order to stay on the earth, we need a certain amount of pressure called gravity. Otherwise, we'd float away. If we didn't have pressure within our bodies, our blood would just kind of float in the air and it wouldn't be in our bodies. We need pressure. A good deadline here and there will get you motivated to get to working on that project that you need to do. Pressure is not bad. How we handle it is the problem, and it becomes the problem. And so, knowing that, it helps us to realize that stress, illness are multifactorial. Obesity is multifactorial. And you figuring out the areas in your life that need to be modified or need to be changed or need to be supported can do a lot in helping you to actually build physical health. So that's what I like to do, is to help people figure out those areas where they need support and modification in their lives. And of course, I'm oversimplifying a lot of health because that's just the beginning stages. After you start to build that, then you start to have that foundation that you can build on. And that way, when you come to see me, or you go to see your MD, or you go to see whomever, they don't have to start with the basics to you. They don't have to teach you how to eat. They don't have to teach you how to move and when to move. They don't have to teach you, when you need to go and get some rest and go to bed. Or they don't need to teach you to go outside and actually look at the rose and smell the roses and pay attention to the roses and appreciate the roses. They don't have to do that. They can actually see where you are and actually get to work on the deeper issue. I have a lot of people that come into my office and they have these diagnoses, and I can see so clearly what they need to do, whether it's a procedure that I need to perform or it's a plan that I know that they need to perform. But they can't get to that area because all they can handle at that moment is drink an extra cup of water and smoke one less cigarette, and then take a deep breath for 5 minutes twice a day. So we can't even get to the deeper work, the real work. Well, it's not to say that the other's not the real work, but the deeper work, because they don't have that foundation. And so I'm all about building a foundation of health. And of course, I know that we're all going to fall off. We're all going to have our moments of weakness. We're all going to see that cheesecake, that hamburger, that extra whatever it is. That's that's our thing. But the falling off is not the problem. How soon can you get back on? Because that's where the success comes in. And as Dr. Nadia mentioned, success is being the best, but excellence is being your best. So your excellence in health is doing your best at any given time and recognizing when you're not at your best and then figuring out how to get back on. So that's what I do as far as stress. And then the basics of stress that I often talk about in audience is the things that you can do right now, right this moment, to actually get a handle on your particular areas of stress or the areas that you may be lacking. You have drinking water, eating more produce. And we always hear this. You can hear commercials at any given time. You can hear anybody just spewing out, drink more water, eat more veggies, eat more fruit. But what does that actually mean? All right, this is what it means. If you think about it, regardless of how you believe humans were created on earth, whether you're a Christian and you believe the Christian creation story, you believe in Big Bang Theory and there was a big spark in the sky and that started all life, or anywhere in between. The fact of the matter is that humans grew up with nature, water, and produce. And if you eat animals, the animals were there too, but that was it. That's what we grew up here with. And so that's what our bodies were adapted to eat. That's what our bodies were adapted to consume. Bread wasn't there, especially the way that we eat it now. Processed food wasn't there. Not to say that we can't have it, because our bodies are so amazingly resilient. But that's to say that we need those things in order to function. Now, technology and modern life has changed and has moved forward. But human beings are basically the same as we were thousands of years ago. So we need to keep that in mind, that as resilient and as highly performing and as awesome as our bodies are, we still need to go back and really feed our bodies. Now, when I say feed, I don't always just mean water and produce. I also mean the things that you hear. What are you feeding into your ears and into your mind? That causes chemical changes in your body that actually affects your body and how it functions. What are you watching? Do you always just watch CSI? And I'm just saying that because I'm guilty. When I do watch TV, you watch the crime shows or you watch reality TV. Now, I don't watch reality TV. That's a bit too much for me. Or you watch, MTV. Do they still play music on MTV? Anyway, so you watch shows like that, but it's nothing that's actually feeding your body, feeding your mind. Your mind needs to be fed because those images, those sounds, the air that you breathe, all those things go into the body and create chemical changes. Now, are the chemical changes going to help to improve your health, or are they going to help to destroy your health? Well, that's the thing that we have to realize and understand, that everything you put in your body will have an effect on your body. So you have to feed your body properly. Sleep, basically you should call it a nutrient, because if you don't get enough sleep, you're going to cause a negative chemical reaction in the body. One of my mentors actually said that people who chronically get 5 hours or less of sleep, chronically, so that means more often than not, are 235% more likely to be obese or overweight. So that basically means you are causing your obesity by not getting enough rest, which inversely could mean that you could start losing weight if you just sleep more and get better quality sleep. So again, this is food. Do you move your body? I'm not saying you have to join a gym. I don't even believe in gyms most of the time. I believe that you need to just go and move your body and do something fun. Does that mean that you like to dance? Then go and turn the music on and get your groove on. Naked if you can, but if you can't, that's okay. Go dance, do what you got to do, and have fun. Just break it down in your living room, break it down in your house, in your wherever you are. Go to a club that plays music that you like, and just go ahead and dance. It don't matter if other people watching. If they watching, they either trying to get some tips or they smiling. Either way, it's all good, because you either put a smile on their face or they're trying to be like you. So, dance. Do you like the hula hoop? I loved the hula hoop as a child. I loved to jump rope. We stopped doing that. A couple years ago, a friend of mine had a function at her house, and of course, I'm one of the people that tend to linger after everybody else leaves. And so it was me and a few other people that lingered, and we were talking about one thing, and that led to another thing, and then we started talking about hula hooping and double dutching, and she left where we were in the backyard, went into the house, came out with these long telephone cords. And those of you who are around my age, you know about the telephone cords. We played double dutch. Now, the oldest person was her mother-in-law, and I'm assuming her mother-in-law is in like her 60s. The youngest person, until her daughter walked in, was like in their 30s. We in the backyard playing double dutch. How much fun do you think we had? We were moving our bodies, and we were enjoying ourselves. Laughter is medicine. We definitely laughed because we don't know how to play double dutch much anymore, but we had fun. Joy is medicine. Laughter is medicine. How do you increase the laughter? Children laugh 300 to 500 times a day. Laugh or giggle 300 to 500 times a day. Adults, about 15. That is horrid. We have to learn how to have more fun in our lives. That doesn't mean that we have to be silly all the time, but find joy in something. You're walking to work, you walk to work time from your car to your job. Pay attention to the grass. How beautiful is it? Smile at the grass. Smile at the little bug. Do things that you enjoy. Find things that you enjoy. And then when you're doing these things, you're not thinking about the appointment at work. You're not thinking about, that deadline. You're not thinking about those things that are actually causing you stress. And even if it's for a moment, you're breaking the cycle of stress. And by breaking the cycle, you're actually helping your body to heal at least that much more. That doesn't mean that it's going to go away, because it's still there, but you're breaking the cycle, and that's a start to actually helping your body heal. So if you all have any questions, of course, you can feel free to type them in, or, if you have any questions from the chat room, please let me know. But that's my biggest thing. We need to figure out what's causing us to be ill. build that foundation of health so that when you do come to someone that is an expert in their field that can actually help you improve that area, whether it is in business or finance or success or leadership, you already have the basics and you have the mental capability. If you're stressed out, you can't think. If you're eating crappy food and you're not drinking water,
Mm-hmm.
you can't think. If you are not sleeping well, you can't think. So it's not only about building health so you can run a marathon. It's building health so you can do those things that you need to do on a regular basis.
Ooh wee.
I love it.
It, yeah. Okay. I'm going to give the panel. I'm going to give the panel a chance to speak. Dr. Nadia, Tony, you all can address Dr. Teresa. And then somebody wants to know how can they get a hold to you
Okay.
to have an appointment. And if you take insurance, I'm sorry. Yeah. If you take insurance, then how do they get a hold to you?
Okay. So I'll answer both of those. And I'm getting a lot of feedback. It's just really weird. But as far as insurance is concerned, it really depends on the insurance company and whether or not they accept naturopaths. If they don't, you have to look at your insurance company, because even some insurance companies, the different plans will offer different things as far as insurance are concerned. So you have to look at that. Now, I personally don't do insurance. I would be considered an out-of-network provider. So as an out-of-network provider, what I would do is I would give you the paperwork that you need to have in order to submit the paperwork to your insurance company for reimbursement. So you can ask them about the out-of-network provider reimbursement, the process, how that would go about, and like I said, I would just give you the information that you would need in order to make that happen. If you want to connect with me to learn more about naturopathic medicine, learn more about what it is that I do, see how naturopathic medicine might be able to help you with some of your health concerns, or if you want to connect with some of the classes that I'm about to start having, I actually have a class coming up in the very near future. Actually, it's in a week and a half. This start. It's my Foundations of Health, where we actually go through some of those things that are the basic things that you can start doing right now on your own time and building your better health foundation. You can learn more about that. You can get on my newsletter all by going to my website. So if you go to www.drtursha.com, that's DRTURSHA.com, you can find all that information on there. And if you look up at the top of the web page, you'll see a little tab at the top, on the bar at the top, that says Efua. And so if you go to the link and click on the Efua tab, there is actually a document that I'm giving to you all called 12 ways to increase vitality. And these are just 12 simple steps that you can take to actually improve your day, improve your health. And they're not big things. These are things that you can incorporate right now to help you start to be more vital, more vibrant. You can also get my books. I have 2 books out right now called Practically Healthy. One is the Step-by-Step Guide to Better Health. The other is the corresponding workbook, which is Roadmap to Success. They work together to help you basically, again, identify those areas that you may want to improve, some goals that you might have, why it's important to set goals in health, and not only in like your business and your finances, but setting health goals is important, but doing it in a systematic way so that you can actually reach those goals. And then helping you identify some of those key areas of health that I talked about earlier, explaining why they're important, and giving you suggestions on ways that you can start to incorporate it. And they're not difficult. The thing about being healthy is that it's a habit. Just like success is a habit. These are things that you do on a regular basis to create your habits. If you recognize that the habits and the traditions that you grew up with are causing you ill health, then those are the things that you need to work to modify. I'm from New Orleans, so I know about eating. I know about eating white rice and French bread with every meal. I know about eating good food. And you don't eat to live, you live to eat in New Orleans. People come from all over the world to my hometown to eat. I know about eating. So changing my views on health
and food and changing how I ate wasn't an easy process. So I understand, what it takes to actually modify it. I'm still on the road, because when I go home, I throw all of my education aside. So I get it. But in the book, I give you some of the things that I've done and some of the things that I've asked my expert friends and some of my colleagues what are some of the simple things that they've done and some of the simple things that they've taught other people to do in order to build better health. And it's not overwhelming, but it has to become a habit in order for it to actually help to build health. So that's how you can get in touch with me, www.drtershaw.com. Again, if you click on the Efua tab on my website, you can learn more about the upcoming class, the books, and you can get in touch with me for a consultation. And for the books and for the class, of course, I'm giving an Efua discount. So go ahead and check that out so that we can start playing and working together and be vibrant and have vitality together. Yay! So that's I think that answered those two questions.
So now I'm going to, Tony, if you want to ask a question or make a comment. And what I'm doing is I'm in the Hip Sisters book. For some reason, I don't think it's letting y'all in, but I'm sorry. It says it's disabled. When I try to come through the video, it's saying it's disabled, but I have to log off and go into the other room. But that's where I got that question from. And I will forward all questions and comments, because I saw something for Nadia too. As well. So we're gonna make sure we go back and give everything back at the end. But I want to look, girl, I'm done with you. Awesomely well. And I'm going to tell you, the big thing I liked about this, you said break the cycle of the stress. And I think we don't think about that. We're just so busy trying to fix it right now, fix the stress we have right now. We don't think about that. It is a cycle. Like you said, we're not running from the bear, the lion, anymore. We're trying to, like you said, we're trying to survive. We're trying to meet that bill. We're trying to get that money, get those clients. Oh, it's so great. So thank you for that today.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay, so Tony, if you have any one of you, if you have a you can unmute.
Okay, check. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Everyone can mute themselves except for the person that is talking. So maybe even not for her.
Okay, I loved it, both of what both Dr. Nadia and Tersha had to say, because it's definitely in alignment to what I'm working on. As you guys talked about transparency, me and Dr. Marrian had a conversation months ago about using that terminology. And I apologize you can't see my picture. I'm just learning Hangout, so right now I'm not breaking it if it ain't, and I'm not trying to fix anything if it's not broke. If you can hear me, I'm okay with that. So and so many people use that terminology, but I'm not sure they actually understand what that really means. And so being able to not always talk about the hurts and the pains, but talking about the need of what you need at this time to go to the next day. And I love the fact that, Dr. Nadia talked about delegate, because that's where I'm at right now, is recognize what we did in the past that didn't work and saying it's okay to allow somebody in to, help you. It's not going to be the way you did it. And that might not be so bad, to just let somebody in to help you. That'll also relieve that stress that you're talking about. And I love that excellence being your best versus being the best, because we're always in competition in our mind. And as I sat here and I'm sitting here like, okay, if I press this button, is it going to work? There was that competition again that they can't see me, and so it's like, no, I got here. I got on the call, and can I be okay with that? And just owning where I am, like you said. I'm just saying, I'm sitting here smiling because those steps that we've heard some of you teach in the past, they're working. And being able to say thank you that those steps that we think we hear every day, oh, I heard that already. But are you doing it? Are they working? And I'm here to say they're working. that something I heard years ago about breaking the cycle is becoming aware of where you are, and that I have headaches, and I am recovering from headaches because what I learned years ago was to write down and be aware of what I was eating, what I was putting in my body. And then if I had a headache later or my body reacted, okay, the first thing I think of is, what did I eat? What did I put into my body mentally, physically? Did I not sleep well? Is that why I have a headache? Did I have enough water today? Is that why my back hurts? Just to think of those things first, that they're all related. And now that I moved to Arizona, I've only been here 6 months, and I love it. I've met both of you wonderful ladies, and you're touching on a lot of things you've already mentioned that I can say, please listen, because these things work. They might seem small, but just being aware that these things that we don't do on, or do, like watching so much TV. One of my biggest things I tell people, stop watching so much news. Watch more comedy. You know, I go for walks in the park by myself because I talk too much. So I need that quiet time more than people think I do, you know, because I do like to talk, but at the same time, I enjoy my quiet time. I don't do a lot of exercising, but I like yoga. I love Qigong. And sitting in the park by myself, walking around, and just, like you said, smelling the grass, looking at the flowers, enduring the heat. Yes, I was not affected by the 110 degrees the other day because I was just loving the sun, loving the moment, you know. Watching, you know, I did feel at times, which I would like both of you to address, I'm getting to my question, is, you know, feeling like sometimes we've run away because we've listened to so much negativity, listening to so much debating, fighting about what you want to do in your life, being codependent, that you feel guilty, that you felt like you ran away when you really were trying to listen to your body for healing. And now that, you know, we start to see the effects, both residual of the past and now the working toward the healing, how do you get over the guilty feelings that you may have given up or ran away versus feeling like I made a good decision, I'm feeling better than I ever have, and I'm aware of these things, that I didn't get enough sleep, I didn't get enough water, or I needed to eat more fruits and vegetables, or I listened to the wrong person. You know, being aware in the moment. Can you talk on to people about that, to relieving that guilty feeling? And I really would love to hear from both of you on that aspect, because I believe that is another avenue of stress, is that guilty feeling and not being able to let go, to just trust your movements. And you can say it out loud, but sometimes deep down you don't feel like you really trust that what you did was okay, even though you feel the good effects. And that's it.
All right. Let's see. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Tony, you just touched on a lot. Dr. Tertia, you already know how I think you the bomb. We've collaborated on some different stuff, so we've had a chance to work together. And I just really briefly, before I answer your question, Tony, just understanding that, you know, since I too moved to Arizona, I've had a chance to work with a naturopathic doctor and to experience the life changing results of that, you know, in my body and in my health. And I'm still working on certain goals, but I am not, I was a mess when I first started on this journey about 5 years ago. And I too am from the Southeast, where we love to eat, you know, and it's a mess. And so and it's hard to change that. So I think one of the things that we have to do is just give ourselves the space and the grace to change. Because when you think about it, I was over 30 when I moved to Arizona, so I had over 30 years of bad habits to try to break, and now I'm on a completely different journey. And it took 30 plus years, for some of us even more, to get here, and yet we think it's going to be 10 minutes to change it, and it's not. And so just give yourself the space. But if you follow the advice and the insight that naturopaths have to share, you would be amazed at how quickly you can reverse some of the symptoms and the issues and the dis-ease that you're feeling in your
Mhm.
body. It's amazing how quickly. I'm like, that was 3 weeks and I was dealing with this for years. So some things happen quickly, other things may take more time. To answer your question around, Tony, around, you make these changes and you may have guilt, and that's a big one. I'm glad you brought that up, that women have. I'll share something with you that I had a coach tell me, and honestly, I was a little ticked off when she said it to me at first. I didn't take it very well. So I hope that you're a little more in a better space than I was when I first heard this. And that is, guilt is a choice. We choose the guilt. And a lot of times is we're so worried about how other people feel. And part of it is, the way we've been brought up and conditioned as women to feel like we're supposed to take care of all these people and put their needs above our own. But I go back to, I can't give what I don't have. And I just have to look at, I know for a fact, if I don't get enough sleep, I start packing on the pounds like crazy, because I've paid attention to certain things. And so I have to be okay with, I need to have a cutoff, 8, 9 o'clock. Nadia needs to go to bed because I'm an early riser. And so I know that about me. Giving yourself the space to just understand how you operate, when you best do certain things in your life. But I would say just give yourself permission to put you first. And it's not coming from a place of being selfish, because a lot of people would say that is so
Mhm.
selfish. It's
Mhm.
actually
Mhm.
coming from a place of service, because when I'm okay, I'm rested, I'm well fed, and I'm not talking about hyped up on caffeine and junk food. I've been nourished my body, I've had enough water, I'm not cranky, I'm not foggy brained, I'm not angry, I'm easier to work with. I'm able to come to you and bring you my best self. And for
Mhm.
me, another piece was, I'm a natural introvert. So when I started my business and I was traveling and speaking and doing all these things that snatched me out of my comfort zone, I had to learn how to put boundaries in place. So Nadia, don't pack your day. If you have a speaking gig, you're going to speak for 90 minutes, 2 hours, and then have all these meetings, because I'm depleted. Because when I give like that, I'm tired and I need to give myself permission to maybe take a nap in the afternoon when I wouldn't normally do that on on a regular normal day. And so just make those adjustments as necessary, but know that it's not selfishness, and there's no need to feel guilty, because I'm doing my family, my clients, my colleagues a favor by going to bed, eating well, exercising, because now they get the best of me and they don't get the leftovers, the tired, cranky, I can't think straight, I can't bring my best self to this because I haven't done enough self-care.
Love it.
Absolutely
Love it.
wonderful.
And I am in a great place that I can receive that guilt is a choice. I can receive that. And actually, that is extremely helpful because I definitely believe that. I do believe that. So thank you.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
Come on, Doc.
All right, so of course I was taking notes of what Dr. Nadia was saying. I was
Oh
like, "Yep,
yeah.
had that to say, help that, had that to say."
Click.
So thank you for saying some of that, because I was don't have to say it now. So basically, I'm in alignment with everything that she said. One of the things that I would say is, and I'm again being transparent. Being transparent. One of my mentors, who is also a naturopathic physician, told me this week. He said, "What is this shit you're telling yourself because it's not true?" And I was like, okay. And then I was telling him some stuff, and he was like, that's not true. And that's not true.
Mhm.
That's the stuff that you're
Mhm.
telling yourself, but it's not true. That's not true. So when you have thoughts like that, when you have ideas like that, when you feel guilty, for one, why are you feeling guilty? If you could go a little bit deeper and figure out where that's coming from, is that because you feel like you have to give somebody else all your time or all your energy? Does that mean that, this is something that you had at childhood, where they told you in childhood that this is not right because X, Y, and Z? Dig deeper to figure out where that guilt is coming from. Once you can figure out, at least start to begin to think about where those feelings come from, then you can start to pull them apart, tease them apart, and, realize what's not true. and tell yourself that's not true. One of the things that he told me, or that he reminded me of, is that we do a lot of negative self-talk. And
Mm-hmm.
some of the strategies that he reminded me of, and again, this is me being transparent, for me to do is to create positive mantras. Every time that I say something negative about myself, to myself, what do I replace it with? Come up with something positive and replace it with that, and say it several times a day. The things that we hear the most often are the things that we believe, whether they're true or not. So that's why you have certain commercials that come on all the time, because if you see it more often, that's what you believe. And so if you can figure out why you're feeling guilty, if you can figure out why you're feeling bad about taking care of yourself, if you can if you can figure out what those statements are that you continuously tell yourself, and you can just start to repeat the positive statements to yourself, doesn't matter whether or not you remember it or you believe it, not remember it, but it doesn't matter not whether or not you believe it. The fact is, you need to say it. The more often you say it, the more you'll begin to believe it. And now since I did meet Dr. Nadia, and I started watching Amy Cuddy, because Dr. Nadia started talking about power posing, and I put that in my armamentarium, and I tell everybody that I actually make my students go right now, go to the bathroom and do your power pose for 2 minutes before you go see your patient. Like, I'll do that. But the Amy Cuddy said, don't fake it until you make it, fake it
Mm-hmm.
until you become it. And so I thought that was one of the most powerful statements that I could hear at the time. If you continue to tell yourself certain things and act as though you are those things, eventually you'll become those positive things without even recognizing it. So understand where it's coming from, and then just start to talk to yourself in those positive ways more often than not, so that you can replace those negative ideas, those negative thought patterns, and those negative conversations that you have, and then start to replace them with positive ones. And um, one more story. Earlier this week, actually it was yesterday, I was talking to one of my students, and he's about to graduate, and he was talking about how he wishes that he would have known certain things when he was younger, and he was upset with himself for not knowing or not doing. And the only thing that I could hear was, or say was, that doesn't really, how can you be upset with yourself from being in a place of lack of knowledge? You were where you were. As Dr. Nadia said, you were where you were at that time, but right now, this is where you are. So understand that where you were in the past just happens to be where you were, and as long as you are alive, as long as your body is still fighting to keep you here and keep you healthy in the situation that it's giving you, or that you're giving it, then you have an opportunity to make those changes and live where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, figure out what it is that's causing you to think those negative things about yourself. Appreciate where you were, appreciate the fact that you have the knowledge that you have now, and then continue to push yourself through and give yourself those positive statements. And if you need to have your girlfriend or your husband or your wife or whomever to help you, tell them what your positive statements are. And every time they walk past you, have them say that to you. Or every time they hear you say something negative, have them say the positive so that they can remind you.
Mm-hmm.
Get that support. Delegate that help to you. And again, it doesn't have to be, a lot of money. You telling your spouse or your sister or your best friend to remind you of a mantra costs nothing. So just having them on your team to help you make a better person of yourself, and just repeating that, can also help you get rid of the guilty feeling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent.
Just listen to you. Go ahead, Tony. I want you to get some feedback.
No, I just wanted to say excellent. Thank you. I'm used to saying nuggets, but this is total. These are gems here that was just dropped this morning. So I appreciate both of you, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Marrian. I do want her feedback as well on this, because as you talked about digging deeper, the digging deeper that I would say myself would have been is what we consider to be part of that codependence. As being a leader, you've helped so many people, so when you decide to move on, I think the guilt comes from who do you get off and letting them go. That's a selfish feeling, I know that, but that's where, as women, I think that conversation in that core of networking and working with women like yourselves is somebody to tell you, get over it, get over yourself. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. But sometimes we're so used to being that person that helps everybody that you feel bad that you're saying, I no longer have that in my cup. I no longer have that to provide for you anymore. I need to turn it around on me. And so just feeling okay, like I said, to have this conversation and bringing that out, that I think enough of us, as you talked about earlier, Dr. Nadia, as being that support system and working with each other on having that real conversation. That's the transparency that I believe is sometimes needed more than, oh, I lost my wife, I lost my husband, I lost my cars. You know, okay, yeah, we've been there. What about this? How do we get past that? And so I appreciate you both talking on that and digging deeper with that. And so thank you, and I appreciate that. And I would love to hear Marrian's side as well. Thank you.
Me? What do I have to say today except for I'm in total agreement and alignment with what was said prior to me. You know, I'm all about mindset, and I'm all about reframing and restructuring and rewriting, you know, the notes to your life symphony. That is so important that we do that. And the reason why I emphasize you have to write a symphony, because if you just write one note, then that's just one moment. But a symphony is something that becomes complicated, it becomes calm, it goes back to being roaring, and it can create a whole story, one that makes you move through all your emotions, but ultimately leaves you in a place where you know you are content and happy. So I like the idea of Nadia saying that it's about service, right? It is a service to yourself. Now, I'm going to give you an example of something that I hear all the time. People say, you know, I can give a man a fish, or I can teach them how to fish themselves. That's what you're doing. You've given them what they've already needed, and you've shown them the way. But as women, we sometimes forget that we have to unattach ourselves to the fishing line. We keep wanting to monitor the fishing line. We want to see if they're putting in exactly at the right angle that we did. That's not our assignment. Our assignment is to reach out, share, love, and appreciate and honor the space we hold together. Pour out as much as we can. Just keep pouring authentically, letting it rain down. So once we do that, we've done our part. Now, we can occasionally look back and say, wow, they're still coming. But they have to journey their own path. And that's what I heard everyone saying this morning, Tarsha and Nadia, right? They both said it. You have to put yourself in a position when you understand in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, and within your spirit that your intention for initially doing what you did was for the greater good of all involved. And first and foremost, it needs to impact you first. Because if I get in my car, no matter how much intent I have to get to this luncheon in the next hour, if there's no gas in my car, I'm not going anywhere. So your life has to be filled, and you have to be able to allow yourself to be replenished. And sometimes that does require you to walk away. Everyone knows my story. I walked away. And when I walked away, I had to be willing to accept the opportunities that were present, knowing that what I left was valid because that's part of who I am, but it's not necessarily what defines me. It's a part of me, but it's not what's defined as me. And it's not necessarily what I want to represent over and over and over again. It's not the notes, it's not the 17 bars that I want people to hear, to remember, so they're inspired to create their 17 bars or their symphony. So when you go back and think self-full. You got to keep yourself full of balance, full of harmony, full of acceptance. And I like the ideal of affirmations, and I talked about this when I was waiting for we were having the glitches earlier, and I talked about an affirmation is beautiful, but you need a confirmation. And that's what Torsha is talking about when she's telling you to tell other people to say it back. My coach, Dr. Lisa Nichols, what she does is she has this thing called Earth Angels. And so when we get together, all of us get in this room, she'll have you write down something that you're struggling with at this time. And then she'll have you put it in an affirmation. form. I am smart. I am, beautiful, or whatever term comes to your mind. I'm just thinking of things women might say. Or I am complete. So you would say that, and then you would have two earth angels, sometimes three, and as you say, I am beautiful, they're saying you are beautiful. I am happy, you are happy. I am wealthy, you are wealthy. And after hearing this resoundance going on around you, you begin to feel your body change, your language change. And so I agree, put as many people in your space as often as you can. Let go of the fear, the frustration, the ideal of rejection, because there is no real rejection. There's the only rejection you have is to reject your true, authentic voice. And that voice is telling you what to do. That when you reject that because you think someone else outside of you is going to take away something that doesn't really exist because you haven't created it yet, I'll say it again. If you're waiting for someone outside of you to take away something that you haven't created yet for them to take away, then you've missed the whole point of being your self-defined and designed creator for your life. So take away, guilt is a choice. And guilt really doesn't exist because guilt means you have regret. And regret is an example of saying that you are incapable of making decisions. And as women, we make decisions all the time. We may not like all the full scale of consequences. However, we make decisions that are valid, that are worthy, that are prominent, that are needed, and that are necessary. So we don't have to second guess that. We don't have to misalign ourselves by saying that we're out of alignment because we made a decision that other people didn't like. Guess what? I don't like folks telling me I can't eat my whole bag of dried mango. I got to eat it. I don't people tell me I can't eat my whole bag of almonds, but I have to eat it. I know what we know what to do. We know it because why? It's innately within us. The prescription is there. So when you unleash it, when you allow yourself to open up to unleash it, when you allow yourself to forgive yourself for that moment, forgive yourself because truly every moment is a new beginning. And every moment requires a new decision, a new choice that you are more than capable of making. Start small, foundations. Start at the foundational level of where you need to be. We have trained people to expect us as nurturers to always drop everything and heed to their call. As women, we are trained subconsciously to do that, which is why I often tell people, I said, remember, from the time you were born, you were given messages, you were shown images, and you were given restrictions and boundaries. And then at some point, we quote unquote rebel. No, we're not rebelling. That is our soul saying, this is a bunch of crap. This is not what we signed up for. I ain't doing this crap. No, I can't go back to where I came from, but I'm going to change some stuff around here. So that's where the rebellion comes in at. That's where the process of us changing and embracing our highest, greatest self. Absolutely, positively. Yep, y'all got me burning up in here. But it's just the way that we have to go. This is why the sister circle is so important. This is why I kind of like this idea of virtual, but I'm definitely going to go back to my live because then we could do the Earth Angel, and then we could team people up in different ways, and you can have more of a direct interaction. But this by no ways is negated because it was such a powerful exchange. And when you understand that all that you're made up of is exactly in its greatest point, sometimes we just have to remove those covers, re-script some things, change the blocking, get rid of some characters, and then start all over again from the top. This time, doing it the way we agreed to do it, which is at our highest level of excellence, which I love that Nadia brought that up. That we're saying, where we get this shit from? What you say, your doctor said, where you get this shit? Who telling you all this shit, right? Because that's what it is. Sugar, honey, iced tea. Is that better for y'all? Y'all know how Dr. Marrian is. Get used to it, right? But the point of it is that this is a free, uninhibited exchange of wisdom, strength, and knowledge. Healing has to occur after you being here in this moment. It has to. It has happened for me, listening, being a part of this. I'm sure it happened for you all as well, because we're learning and growing from each and every one of us. None of us are greater than the other because we're interdependent. We are interconnected. There's no codependency is something that happens when somebody is sick, right? So then they agree that I'm going to lean on you, and then they agree that you can lean on them. But they never tell you when to stand up and see can you walk, or stand up and see can you stand by yourself. So we want to be interconnected, but not codependent. Interconnected means we understand that there's constantly a constant ebb and flow that's going on, a constant shifting of strength, a constant shifting of position, a constant shifting of knowledge, sharing of knowledge, gaining of skills and experiences, forging and forming relationships. The viability of this network is going to continue to grow. And as people know, that's why I emphasize SISTA is simply someone who is achieving at whatever it is. If your achievement is that you are able to wash your dishes and keep your kitchen clean, please share that with me, right? On a busy schedule, right? Because as a single parent, now I'm a single parent, I need to know how to do that. Yes, I can give chores, but it's about how do I delegate in such a way? How do I trust in such a way in my life? How do I allow other people to come in and see that, you know, Dr. Marrian is sitting here today and she can disclose to you, hey, you need to come and see some stuff. Like, I just got back from Vegas for my birthday, but I had this commitment. And I can bring on these beautiful women, my sisters, to come and share and spend time with us and share with us. So that's my long way of saying there is no such thing as guilt. We don't have to do anything more than affirm the fact that our spirit, our soul, our mind, and our heart are in full alignment with divine creator. Whatever term you use it, but don't lose the message. That is in full alignment at all time, and that we are the creators of that which we desire, that which we need, that which we want to make a contribution with. Your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your possibilities are exponential. They go beyond anything you yourself even can enumerate or begin to think. So when you're thinking big, and as my girls say, you're about to pee your pants because you need it depends, because it's such a big dream, do it. Keep going to the park. Keep walking. Keep getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I love everything that you learn, how to self-care, and that's been my mantra for the last 2 months. Have I been steady on my running? No, and I haven't ran in almost 2.5 weeks. But I make sure that I stay in movement in some form. It wasn't a purposeful movement, but I do make sure that I do something. My stretches, my yoga, my deep breathing. I do something, because when there is no more Dr. Marrian, who's going to tell them to be exponential? Have I put anybody in place to pick up that message, that mantra, and take it to the next level? That's the question. What's your legacy? Okay, I'm done talking. Y'all know I'm talking. Look, Nadia, like, there she go. I see you smiling.
That was awesome. Love it. Thank you. Wow. Yes.
Yeah, so ladies, I want to get, so Tony, you want to make another comment before I bring everybody back home? We have been doing this. Therese wasn't able to get on today. As I said, she's dealing with some things back home. She's actually from Wisconsin like me. She's from Milwaukee like me. And she's dealing with some personal family stuff, but she'll be on another show. I'll definitely get her on another program. I'm going to walk with her. But, you know, that's why I had to hurry up and get back home, because I was like, I'm not going to trust this hotel internet. It's not going to bother me. It's not going to mess up my program. But I want each of you to go back and share your information and a final thought that you want to give the people, the women who would see this, and remind us again of where to go to get the information to follow with you, because all of you just poured out so much. And my whole notebook, I've used up a lot of notes. And my daughter was in the room. Miss Jada was in the room, and she was loving it, as always. So I can't wait, because you know why I get excited when my children are in the room or at a conference with me, is because they didn't have to wait till they got 30 plus to figure it out. you know, for my son to say, Ma, you need to stop, take a deep breath, and you need to reassess what just happened. Excuse me? Who? What? And you can't say nothing, right? Because he is embracing life, right? So he's hearing it, he's singing, he's living. He's like, Ma, he's chill. He's a chill, right? So go ahead, Tony. I'm gonna go down the list. I'm gonna go down the list with y'all on my screen. So Tony, you're showing up on the screen first, and then Dr. Nadia, and then of course Dr. Tasha.
Thank
Go
you.
right.
This was amazing. I want to thank you for inviting me, Miriam, Dr. Miriam, and Dr. Nadia and Dr. Tershaw for being on the program. Just getting your gems today was it was self-healing and more than I had expected. It just makes me feel like definitely I'm in the right path. I'm going in the right direction and still learning. I think that is, besides me giving my information, if I was to give anybody anything from today, I would say just keep your mind open and take the gems, no matter how small you think they are. You can heard them 1,000 times. Are you practicing it? Are you doing the work? Don't say it doesn't work if you didn't take the time and energy just to take that uneasy step. Do the work. And these are simple. I mean, some people say, "Oh, it's hard to drink more water, eat more." Just one step every day. And I will tell you, my testimony is they all work. They all work. And so I thank you, ladies, today for this opportunity to be in your presence and share with you. And for my information, is anybody need anything on wealth building and to help them with their support system and help them grow in preparing for financially on their life insurance and legal insurance aspects. My information is again Tony Kirkendall. My number is 608-695-2102, and my email address is Tony Kirkendall at legalshieldassociate.com. Thank you again.
Spell that for me, Tony.
Tony Toni Kirkendall, Kirken is in Nancy, D is in David, OLL at legalshieldassociate.com.
Excellent. And Tony was also, she not only was she a presenter today, she also someone who sponsored this process that we're going through. She's always involved. She's sharing and watching her evolvement. Just at that moment you were giving out your email, Tony, I realized how far back we go. We go back to when I did the thing with Michael Bazin at what was the thing called? The Gathering. When I did the Gathering with Michael Bazin. I forgot we were there. I was there, and we were talking. You were very, yeah. So that's just how far back that goes. So it's a great feeling to know you're still moving and grooving, and being supportive, and just watching you evolve. It's been awesome. So I'm definitely going to post all this back up again. And again, I apologize for not having it locking us out the room. It locked us out the room. But we want to go on. So Dr. Nadia, you're up next.
I would just say this was awesome. It was just great. I too have my notebook. It's full of notes. I'm so excited. I would just close with a couple nuggets, and that is one, that we train people how to treat us. And so just keep that in mind as we look at, how we're being treated. And I love that you brought that up, Marrian, that we've been trained, to give in a certain way, but now we have the opportunity and a responsibility, honestly, to train people to treat us in a different way. And also as leaders, I think sometimes we feel like as leaders we have to just almost kind of mothering, take everyone under our wings. And one of the things that I do and I encourage my leaders to do is to start to set people up to be independent. And you really achieve your goal as a leader if you can leave the place and it's better than when you were there. So you want people to know that my role here is not to stay here and be the the nucleus, the glue to hold it all together. My goal here is to bring all these different people and get them focused on a common goal, moving in the same direction and operating in their different gifts and talents together as a cohesive unit, so that when I pull myself out and I move on to something else, all of you can continue to move forward and you're still able to do that. And sometimes we get that mixed up with leadership and, again, some of the roles and things that we're taught as women. As far as connecting with me, my website is www.doyenleadership.com, and you spell Doyen, Doyenne. It's www.doyenleadership.com. To get that resource around delegation, the art of delegation, let it go, is to text the word delegate to 480-725-7622. And if you would like to join our private Facebook community, head on over to www.powerprofitsmovement.com. And it was so fabulous to hang out with you ladies today. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Come on, Dr. Tasha.
All these thoughts came to mind when I was trying to think of, what do I say? What can I top it off with? Since I'm going to be the last one, I got to say something powerful and bring it all together. Basically it all boils down to health is holistic. You have to, in order to be truly healthy, you have to be healthy in every aspect of your life. And that doesn't mean that you have to overwhelm yourself with the details. Start to break it down. Put people in place that will help you move toward where you need to go. Appreciate where you are now, and then with the goal of where you want to be. And again, like everybody said, make sure that you are teaching people how to treat you, because you are a being who is ever changing, physically, mentally, emotionally, chronologically. You're ever changing, and you want to make sure that you're putting things in place so that you're changing for the better. And that doesn't mean that you are having other people completely depend on you without you completely depending on you. So make sure that you are a healthy person. Figure out what it is that you need to revitalize, replenish, reignite your health, so that you can be that person that you want to be for everybody else, and have the freedom to be that person, because you can't be truly healthy and happy unless you have a certain level of freedom in health, in finances, in business, in whatever areas. Just know that you're a dynamic, healthy being, and you're always changing, you're always in flux. So just continue to move there, continue to grow, continue to learn, and just take those little steps. Take the little steps daily to doing what you need to do. If you want to contact me, again, the easiest way to contact me is my website, www.drtursha.com. That's DRTURSHA. If you want to make an appointment with me, there's a contact us page. If you would like to get the 12 steps to increase vitality for free, you can go and click on the Efua tab on my website and download that. If you want to connect with some of the classes that I have coming up in the future, you can also go to the website for that. And I'd love to hear more from you. So just connect with me and let's have a conversation.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, I'm going to tell you, it has just like made me feel this is part of my journey, and this is part of me stepping out on my comfort zone, being more visible, and not being able to be on film and go stop, cut, edit, no, rewind. This is so awesome. So all of you forever stay in my heart, and I know that you know this. I was just sitting here thinking like, I got another project coming up, and I'm thinking about each and every one of you. My mind is always spinning about how do I help and support everyone get to the next level, because that is my contribution. I know that I am that person that can look and be like, oh, okay, I need to connect them with this person and give them this little hint. And so we're going to be working on some stuff. So when y'all know when I start texting and calling, go on and smile now, because y'all know I'm calling y'all Tarsha. No, let me tell you something. This is what was laughing about me. Why can't I say her name? Because I have a great niece. Her name is Tashana. And I want to call you that every time I get ready to say your name. And so I'm like, Marrian, no, this is a grown woman. She your healer. She helping you get your life together. So, but that's a good thing because I love Tashana. She is so like she's my hip child. Whenever she's around, she forgets about her mom and daddy, and she come to me. So I just thank you for that. But I have something for each and every one of you, and so I just want to thank you all. It's going to be something small, so you'll be getting it. But it's just something I want to tell you, encourage you to continue to share your gifts so freely. And as I said, I'm remembering how I met each and every one of you and the station that we met in and how I'm seeing the progression. And you guys pulled out so much information today. I'm saying you need a show. You need to be doing this on a broader scale. I need you to open on up and bring this out. There's just so much that we can do from here, and that's what it's about. And so I will end like I would if I were live, and that is just by saying that as we continue to move forward out of this space together, that we continue to stay aligned first and foremost with divine. Secondly, stay aligned with our hopes, our dreams, our aspiration, expressing the power that stems from within so that others will see your light and come to you. For each of us are beings of light, and when we come together, we create the sun, which shines, heals, and illuminates. So thank you all so much for being part of the Sister Circle today. I am honored, and it is a pleasure to call you my sister. Thank you all. And for those of you that are on the call and listening to this in hindsight, please go back and check and listen. I'm going to put it in the bottom of the post. But these women are phenomenal sisters. Make them your sisters. Go make your doctor's appointment. Go sign up for the Prophets Academy. Get your life insurance. Get your legal insurance. Get everything in place because truly we want to break the cycle. And I'm adamant about breaking the cycle of pain, of poverty, and of fear. We have to break that. And we got to move forward. And we only can do that when women begin because we are the foundation of our communities. Women nurture the children from the time they're in the womb, from the time they get out. And so we must be able to heal on all levels of our lives. So thank you all so much again for joining us here. It has been a pleasure. And I love you all. Truly, I do. Y'all know that's my problem. I love a lot of folks all the time, even for when I ain't supposed to. But it's supposed to love them because that's what I'm commissioned to do. And that's who I am. Not what I do, but it's who I am, and so it becomes an action on a daily basis. So until next time, continue peace and blessings to you all, and thank you and join us next quarter. So every 3 months we do the Sister Circle. We'll have a chance to see that again. So 3 months from now will be September, late September. So we'll see you all then. Thanks again, ladies.
Bye.
Bye-bye.